Alright, I'm back with some more For the King stuff. We've moved on from the heroes and today we're going to talk about the side bosses the game has to offer. More specifically, the Scourges. There are 10 different Scourges in the game, and with such a round number, I couldn't help myself but to do a top 10 list. When ranking these different bosses, I will take into account the effects they hinder the party with, the actual battle against them, and the loot they drop. Just a few ground rules to lay out. Firstly, this will only be covering the Scourges, not any story bosses or the Kraken. Secondly, I know I should technically put this in no particular order, but nah, screw you, this is my opinion. In the bottom of the list we have the Songstress, who is a unique Scourge in the Into the Deep campaign. She tries to distract the party off their quest by alluring them with some sick beats. Because of this, her Scourge effect is causing the party's boat to go off course very frequently. Now I bet you're asking, but Beamsley, why is she at the bottom of the list? She sounds quite fresh. Well, at first glance she does sound like quite a threat, but then you realise she's barely a setback for the party. This is shown in her Scourge effect. When she drifts your boat, it moves you only one tile, which has little to no effect when you have a bigger boat such as a merchant or armoured boat. To add insult to injury, it sends you in a random direction, meaning it can even help you in some scenarios by sending you towards the objective. Fun fact, before making this video I had never fought the Songstress before, so this battle was a new experience for me. To sum it up, it was a bit of an easy fight. With only drowned corpses by her side, she wasn't in any trouble at all. Maybe this could have been biased as her team had mainly resistance and my team's magical damage healer was following the second amendment. Thankfully, the loot she drops is actually alright for a supportive role, as giving the person party heal, a bunch of immunities, and some more focus is just pretty great honestly. But unfortunately, it doesn't really recover the cesspit that is the rest of the Songstress.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot!
In second to last we have Coleheart, once again another Scourge I nearly forgot existed. And I'm still fairly certain he doesn't exist, as in my 5 playthroughs to gather footage I didn't find him once. Because of this, the visuals in this section can only be screenshots of Coleheart and random combat footage, so sorry about that. Anyways, for his Scourge effect he spawns random volcanoes across the map, which are impassable and ignite surrounding tiles, meaning you will be in for a spicy surprise if you step on one. While his Scourge effect is somewhat threatening, his battle isn't. Well, I mean, at least it doesn't look like a threat because, well, I couldn't find the guy. With only 2 small lava golems by his side and an orange ice lolly, I'd say he's not too much of a threat. Just focus all your physical attacks onto him since he has no armor, and then deal with the golems calmly afterwards. Also, since fire isn't a very strong status effect to begin with, the main gimmick of this wizard has essentially been snuffed out. His hat seems alright early game for any magic damage dealers or instrument users in your party. However, the only really notable stat late game would be the double damage against ice, but even that is very situational, so you could just keep it in your pockets for any other uses. You could sell it, eat your breakfast out of it maybe, but whatever you do, do not cook with it. Okay, now we're in the territory of pretty good Scourges, and starting off this category we have the Royal Droll who literally lives in a well, really showing off a terrible housing crisis in Farrell. He's a talented musician who thinks it's a bit of a funny prank to make some of your slot rolls fail randomly. Imagine it as the busker's distraction skill but literally everywhere. Attacking? Nah. Stopping a cult device? Nope. Even moving isn't safe with this fellow about. His battle is very annoying but definitely reflects him very well. He and his 2 backup fellas can mess with your party with resets, confusion and shock. And just when you thought you were safe, he even has distraction as a normal ability. However, once you power through all his funky effects, whether that be with having lots of immunities or getting extremely lucky with some evasion, his team is pretty fragile, so a few smacks will soon turn those bones to dust. Unfortunately, if you defeated him just for the loot, you're going to be very disappointed as his hat is just pretty bad. Entertain isn't even that amazing of a skill, and once you've defeated the Royal Droll, your party will most likely be out of the poverty phase of the game. In conclusion, a great threat, but the rewards will leave you with a bit of an unsatisfied victory. The Foul Priestess, a mediocre battle and a pretty mediocre reward. So why is she above 3 others? Well, because her Scourge effect is absolutely terrifying. While active, the Foul Priestess can destroy sanctums around the world. Now this may sound a bit annoying at first, she's removing some helpful buffs. However, you've probably forgotten that sanctums also revive the player when they die. So essentially she is chipping away at the party's life pool and reducing the amount of times they can mess up before they die for good. To make matters worse, this effect applies to all sanctums, even the ones you've already devoted to. So be prepared to say goodbye to that sanctum of gaming. Okay, with that sadness out of the way, the hair does make you look kinda fresh.
Oh, my back!
Up next we have a nice old man. I didn't see why he was a threat at first, but according to his speech he enjoys TikTok, so for that he must perish. And I suppose he skips your turns occasionally, which is a bit annoying. He fights alone like the Chad that he is, and does everything in his power to slow down the battle with confusion, stuns and slows. So to get around this, try and maximise your damage on the first turn, as your chances to do damage will be a lot slimmer in the middle of the battle. The hourglass he drops is pretty nice, as plus 10 speed also equates to a higher combat speed and more evasion. Combine this with the plus 1 to movement speed and it allows you to zoom.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
The Bandit King is a big fellow with a big axe who looks like he's trying to dethrone the blacksmith as the champion of thickness. As well as having a big axe, he also has the great knowledge of economics. By buying all of Farrell's stocks, he doubles the prices of all items in every town's market. Even our goblin friend in the caves is suffering from this crash in the economy. To deal with this moderator of r/Wall Street bets, we must go to his house and defeat him in combat. In the bandit camp, the king is joined by two of his lackeys and obviously his massive great axe, which he can use to deal massive amounts of damage in one swing, or buff the attack of his team. However, this team has no resistance whatsoever, so get your magical damage dealers in his face to remove him from Farrell and restore the economy. The hat he drops is a very nice piece of mid-game equipment, as a +3 to physical damage alongside damage reflection and steel immunity is certainly nothing to scoff at, although try not to wear it to a town, as they may think you are the tyrant who caused them to have to pay twice as much for a bag of salted cashews.
Rope, 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 rope.
Similar to the Bandit King, the Hangman is also a big guy with a big axe. However, rather than crushing the economy, he summons the souls of the damned. While active, the Hangman forces the party to fight spirits, which are quite a dangerous foe to begin with, but these ones don't even provide any XP or loot. What a scam. The battle with him is just like a magic version of the Bandit King's fight. Rather than bandit lackeys, he has spooky ghosts, and instead of an attack buff move, he has a death mark attack instead. Since the fight is so similar to the Bandit King's, you can do a similar strategy of taking out the weaker ghosts and then focusing down the big man himself. However, if he does death mark you early on, just try and get the fight finished as quickly as possible rather than setting up high damage combos. The Hangman Hood I would say is a fantastic choice for the tank of your party, as +10 to vitality will help to get their maximum health up, as well as help your blacksmith's taunt. The other stats on this hat will also get them some more damage, and Deathmark immunity is always nice to have. I've just been thinking, imagine if Deathmark existed in real life, like you're just walking down the street and some bloke points at you and then 30 seconds later you just...
Top of the morning to you laddies, my name is...
In third place we have a small ginger leprechaun named Fergus the Mad, and oh boy, he loves himself some loot. This is shown in a Scourge effect where you will literally swipe that treasure out of your hands. Alongside having a threatening Scourge effect, his battle is also quite threatening. Firstly, he's quite evasive, so you're going to need perfects in order to hit him. Secondly, his thieving ways carry through to his battle, in which he can steal from one of your party members and flee. If he flees, you'll have to restart the whole Scourge and fight all over again. However, there are a few strategies to this fight. If he does steal from your party during the fight, you can use a taunt in order to prevent him from fleeing, buying you a bit more time to get in those last few hits. A strategy to get around his evasion would be to stun him. Although he is immune to stun, wetting him will allow you to get that stun out and hit him with ease. His hat is a really great item honestly. +7 evasion alongside a bit of a gold multiplier and some luck, absolutely perfect for your money man.
The spy.
Thanos. Wait, no. Deimos is the Scourge that comes just shy of first on this list, and if I'm honest it was a tough choice. Deimos is an enormous crag who resides in the ancient quarry. His Scourge effect causes enemies on the overworld to be hidden, meaning you have no clue what you're going to be up against when you jump into a random encounter. This is probably the weakest part of Deimos, but still an alright effect, but he more than makes up for it in everything else. His battle is very scary. With a large amount of armor and resistance, it's going to take you a long time to chip away at his health, all the while he is applying all sorts of elemental status effects to your party and hitting like a truck. A good strategy for this fight would be to get some weapons of armor piercing in order to get through those rocks and hurt his core. The Deimos Skull. +15 to max health, 4 armor, and a handful of immunities. A fantastic hat for any member of your party who needs a bit more defense and beefiness. Finally, in first place we have Disciple, a mysterious hooded figure who looks like you could meet him in a dark alley in Manchester. Let me explain why I chose him for the number 1 spot. First off, his Scourge effect, where he covers the world with dark clouds, which honestly doesn't really do much. However, he also applies a permanent rain effect on Farrell, meaning you won't be able to move as far, have a nice day, or even activate certain overworld abilities such as refocus. The battle with Disciple is a scary one, where if he gets lucky, can cause party wipes all by himself. This is made evident in his attacks. While similar to other Scourges that he has slows and resets, these moves actually do some mad damage in comparison, meaning you can make the party not even be able to react to his massive damage. The Disciple can also shock the party, so say goodbye to using those guns if you have no focus. Honestly, I'd say there isn't a working strategy on this fight, just make sure you use some focus in order to get some good hits out early on. If you do manage to defeat Disciple, you'll be greatly rewarded with his hood, which gives +8 to evasion, so more focus, better find distance, and best of all, party shock immunity. Overall, just a great hat and a fantastic Scourge. Well deserved first place. Oh hey Deimos, how's it going man? What's that? No, look, I was joking, you're definitely first